Senator Amy Klobuchar says she's seeking a new office.
Veteran lawmaker making it official. She's running for governor of Minnesota. Klobuchar says her state needs an executive who will be more than a rubber stamp for the Trump administration. Many Twin Cities residents are outraged after ICE agents shot and killed 2 U.S. citizens this month. The Trump administration argues that federal agents are trying to keep people safe. Almost a dozen Republicans are also running for Minnesota's top job. Incumbent Governor Tim Walz ended his re-election campaign this month after fraud investigations into the state's social programs. Well, now that Senator Klobuchar has officially announced her candidacy for governor, a crowded election season is getting even more attention. Aaron Stuvey spoke with a political science professor about how impactful this election will be.
I believe we must stand up for what's right and fix what's wrong. That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for governor of the state of Minnesota.
Senator Klobuchar's bid for governor has been rumored since current Governor Tim Walz announced in early January that he would not be seeking re-election. And with the announcement now official, Klobuchar finds herself as the frontrunner for the DFL selection, as only one other Democrat, Chaplain Christopher Seymour, has filed for candidacy. The Republican side is much more crowded, with 11 candidates currently filed for office, including MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell and former gubernatorial candidate Scott Jensen. Fred Slocum is an associate professor of political science at MSU Mankato.
I do think Republicans will have an uphill battle winning this governor's race. But that said, a lot could happen. Klobuchar is an extremely formidable candidate given that she has a proven history of winning with large majorities in her previous U.S. Senate races.
But 2026's election will be much more than a governor's race, as Tina Smith's Senate seat is up for grabs, and all House of Representatives seats are on the ballot, including Brad Finstad in the 1st Congressional District. Add to that, every single state legislature seat is up for grabs. And Slocum says this election year will be the most impactful we've seen in years.
I would say unusually so, given how many offices are on the ballot this time. It's going to mean more choices for voters. It's going to mean more options for voters to possibly switch parties and vote different parties, candidates for different offices if they choose.
Aaron Stuvey, KUIC News Now.
The chair of Minnesota Republican Party reacting to Klobuchar's candidacy today. Chairman Alex Playcash wrote on X, saying in part, quote, Senator Klobuchar was a cheerleader for Tim Walz, endorsing and defending him as Minnesota slid into a decade of decline, unquote.